Workplace romances are as American as apple pie. It happens to everyone.
Welcome back to Season 3 of As the Peach Rots. In this engrossing third season, we marinate the fetor of Georgia's political elite in the tangy vinegar of accountability. In a state where the odor of mendacity lingers in the air, our intrepid team of chatroom investigators is on a mission to peel back the layers of deceit and uncover the truth. From backroom deals to embezzlement scandals, no stone is left unturned in our pursuit of justice. But as tensions rise and alliances shift, who can be trusted in the Peach State? Join us for a season ripe with drama, where even the fruit isn't safe from corruption, because sometimes the juiciest scandals are right under your nose.
What do you want people to know?
I want people to know the real me.
So there are those who say you weren't qualified for this case. How do you respond?
I respond by saying, let's give it some color. I defended murders, rapes, armed robbers, molesters, mostly criminal cases that dealt with high stakes, including life. The picture that was being painted, that there was no experience, is just not an accurate one.
Nathan Wade, the attorney Fani Willis is accused of having an affair with, has been paid more than $650,000 in fees by Fulton County. Here's a little bit of his resume. Wade was a municipal judge who mostly dealt with traffic tickets and running a private practice focusing on family law and contract disputes.
Mostly criminal cases that dealt with high stakes.
Our research department found no evidence he has ever prosecuted a felony case. Yet Fani Willis picked him for arguably the biggest case in her career.
I defended murders, rapes, armed robbers, molesters, mostly criminal cases that dealt with high stakes.
Wade was a municipal judge who mostly dealt with traffic tickets and running a private practice focusing on family law and contract disputes,
including life. The picture that was being painted, that there was no experience, is just not an accurate one.
Wade was a municipal judge who mostly dealt with traffic tickets and running a private practice focusing on family law and contract disputes.
Not an accurate one.
Was the ex-Fulton County prosecutor.
I do think that we need to step back from this because we've been talking about Nathan Wade being removed from the case. Certainly that would be the course of action to take, that he would be removed. Fani Willis and her office are able to proceed. But I just want to underscore kind of the crucial role that he has played in this case so far, guys. Remember, he was the one who was initially brought on to spearhead and lead the special purpose grand jury process. So that means that he was intimately involved in that 8 months of testimony that those special grand jurors heard from all of the officials here in Georgia, all of the people in the Trump circle. He was there. He was helping lead the questioning. He had that information. And so this is somebody who you could argue has kind of the bulk of the knowledge of this case, or at least his longevity certainly stands out when it comes to this case.
This morning, a U.S. House committee is once again trying to get information from former special prosecutor Nathan Wade. Representative Jim Jordan sent a second request for Wade to turn over documents relating to the Fulton County election interference case. Good Day's Lindsay Tuman is live in downtown Atlanta this morning with all the details. Lindsay, good morning.
Good morning to you, Alex. Yes, this is the second request that's come in to former special prosecutor Nathan Wade. The first one came in back in January requesting 6 different categories of documents, all relating to his employment under the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. And according to this letter, Wade has not responded at all to that one. Now they're asking again.
The United States Committee on the Judiciary is continuing an effort to gain information from Nathan Wade. Wade was the special prosecutor on the elections interference investigation involving former President Donald Trump and 19 others. He stepped down from the case in March after defendants filed a motion accusing Wade and Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis of an improper relationship, also accusing them of benefiting from the investigation. Since then, the committee has asked Wade to provide documents relating to his employment with the district attorney's office. According to the letter, Wade has not complied or responded to the request. The committee wants the documents to help inform legislative reforms it's considering, including an effort to establish guidelines for the use of federal grant funds and another that would help move certain criminal cases from state court to federal court to protect against politicized prosecutions. The letter calls this case a politically motivated prosecution against the former president and says Wade was paid nearly $700,000 since May of 2022, saying that money came from tax dollars and a federal grant. It further says Wade met with the January 6th committee and President Biden's White House counsel.
Now, back in January when this initial request came in, we spoke to a legal expert about it, and they said that Wade does not have to comply with this request, but of course he could be subpoenaed. We'll have to see if that happens with this new request as well. For now, the House committee is asking him to submit those documents by May 16th.
This House committee is calling for former prosecutor Nathan Wade to testify about his relationship with Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Well, in a letter today from Representative Jim Jordan, he requested Wade to testify behind closed doors, claiming Wade's role in the election interference case raises concerns. Representative Jordan says this is the second request from the House. The committee is also asking Wade to turn over documents related to his work in the case.
Do you feel you've done anything wrong?
I don't feel as though I've done anything wrong. I feel like I have been, I guess, in my silence, I've been treated a bit unfairly, a bit harshly.
What's next for you?
Wow, the sky's the limit. I love the dynamics of the courtroom, but I'm also a people person. I enjoy people. And right now, I think it is just incumbent upon me to unplug, get away from all of it until I can clear my mind and make some rational decisions about next step.
Did anyone ever question whether or not you worked 24 hours in one day and billed 24 hours in one day?
I've never worked 24 hours in one day and billed 24 hours in one day.
Okay.
And I'm glad you asked me that question because I like the opportunity to talk about that.
I think you should go ahead.
So, if you look at that invoice where it says 24 hours in one day, it actually doesn't say one day. If you look at the top of the invoice, it says date completed. The date that's reflected on that invoice reflects the date that the work was completed. It doesn't say when it started. It just says this is the date that is completed. So if you go through the invoices, probably around the first 5 or 6, you'll see that that's the billing format. I would bill only after that particular task has been completed. That's why you see a 24-hour period with the one day there. I kind of wish some of the experts who had opined on that had called me and asked me the question. But there was never a billing of 24 hours in one day. Now, probably around the 6th or 7th invoice, you see the format changed. I started using a range so that it got less confusing, right?
I'm confused, so maybe you can correct it.
Okay.
In Exhibit 14, you've got down a specific day.
Mm-hmm.
Prepared cases for pretrial, November the 5th, 2021, 24 hours at $250 an hour, 6,000. No, this wasn't about a range. It was about the work that you did on November the 5th, 2021.
No, Mr. Gillen, look at the top of the invoice where it says date completed.
Yeah, what I want you to do, Mr. Wade, is focus on the date that you have down there and tell the court what you billed for on November the 5th, 2021. I thought it was already in. I thought 14 is in.
Again, Mr. Gillen, it says completed date completed. The dates that you see here are the dates that work was completed. So on November the 5th, I completed the task of preparing the cases for pretrial. That's the date I completed it.
Just read, if you would. Then my question was, read out loud the entry for November the 5th, 2021, and how many hours you billed that day. Just do that for me, if you would.
I can't do that.
Excuse me, I believe the witness is entitled to answer his question. That certainly wasn't the question that Mr. Wade was asking.
All right, well, the question now is to read a certain entry. So
I just read into the record, Mr. Wade, on November the 5th, 2021, how many hours did you bill the citizens of Fulton County for on that day? Just read it out, please.
I completed the task on November 5th, 2021. 24 hours was billed at $250.
Now, when you talked about your relationship with Ms. Willis, and your testimony is that it began in 2022. Do you remember that testimony?
No, sir. Our relationship began in
your
2019.
romantic relationship began in 2022?
Yes, sir.
That's your testimony?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you were re-upped on this contract, you had a romantic relationship already established with Miss Willis, yes or no?
In 2022?
Yeah, when
yes,
you were
sir.
re-upped on November the 15th, 2022, you had a romantic relationship with Miss Willis.
I signed the second contract, yes, sir.
Answer my question, please.
I'm not going to use the words re-up.
Signed up on the re-up or whatever you want to call it, your contract on November the 15th, 2022, you had a romantic relationship already existing with Miss Willis, yes or no?
I signed the contract, the second contract, yes, sir, during the course of a romantic relationship.
Yes or no, you had a romantic relationship with her at the time that you signed up the extension on November the 15th, 2022, yes or no?
The answer to that question is yes.
Thank you. Now, this was before the special purpose grand jury released a report. Isn't that correct? Correct?
Are you asking me if it's before the work was completed or before the special purpose grand jury actually publicly released the report?
When they released the report. Your relationship with Miss Willis already existed when the special purpose grand jury released its report, correct?
At the time the report was released, yes, sir. But you understand that the report, the work had been completed prior to the release of the report. You understand that?
And your relationship with Miss Willis, of course, was prior to the indictment in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she used taxpayer dollars to help Nathan Wade, who spent it in all kinds of ways, but he also used that money to go after President Trump, for goodness sake. So, yeah, I think she's compromised. And back up a second. She charged President Trump and 18 other people and was looking to charge 3 United States senators. She put this out, including the top Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee. And now we find out, and we're talking to this individual, now we find out there's a whistleblower in the Fulton County DA's office who says that Fani Willis also misspent federal funds. Wow. That's why we've subpoenaed Ms. Willis for information related to that and other issues. We want to know what's going on here, but she sure looks like she's been compromised in this entire ridiculous effort that she undertook several months ago.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.